Many people are fake believers. Fake believers. They say they believe, but they don't believe nothing.
Forget about those many people. Let us ask you.
If I believed in God, right? If I believed in God, then I will do whatever God says. You understand? You understand? I said I grew up a Christian, but I realized most people are fake believers. Believing in God doesn't change their behavior.
Which people?
People who believe in God.
Which people? There's a lot of believers in different gods.
Like you.
So, brother, the problem. One second, brother.
Wait.
Do you see what the problem is? Instead of dealing with the question at hand, he's talking about. He's actually calling this straw manning. Oh, that believer and this believer.
Whatever I say.
Talk to me.
Whenever I say something,
are you able to?
You cannot handle the truth.
Can you?
You are a weak man.
Can you?
Can you?
Brother,
because
can you show some patience? Can you show some patience?
Listen,
Thank you. This brother, inshallah, God willing, we will show some patience. Now, why are you an atheist?
I'm an atheist because God is very weak. God.
And what do you mean by God?
Well, God doesn't exist.
What do you mean by God that doesn't exist?
That creator of heaven and earth doesn't exist.
So
it's a fantasy.
So
it's an idea.
Let's understand something.
It's an idea.
So why does something exist rather than nothing?
I don't understand what you mean.
You do understand. Something exists today, and we need to have an explanation. Why does something exist rather than nothing? Remember, you don't believe in the creator of the heavens and the earth, so I'm going to ask you this question.
Even that statement, heavens and earth.
Why do the universe exist?
Because there's nothing like heaven and earth.
Why do the universe exist rather than nothing?
There's a planetary system. There's a Milky Way. There's a galaxy.
Why don't you speak to me?
Earth is just
why don't you speak to me?
In a galaxy of planets. So that's
why do universe exist rather than nothing in existence?
Well, I've said it 1,000 times.
No, if you and the answer is a rational, reasonable answer is.
No, the thing is this, you are here to score points. You want to...
No, you're flapping.
I'm not flapping.
You said you're show some patience.
How many times...
And the reasonable answer is...
No.
Why does the universe exist rather than total non-existence?
Okay.
Nothing. Why?
No, but the thing is this, okay, honestly, will he explain why the universe exists?
You don't believe in God, so I'm asking you that question.
No, why are you asking me?
Because you don't believe in God.
So, because I don't believe in God, I have to explain the universe?
Yes. Let me tell you why.
Exactly.
Let me tell you why.
That proves my point. Because you guys don't understand the evidence, the universe,
evidence?
You believe in God. That proves my case.
Brother, he keeps talking. I know, that's the diversion tactic. Learn that this is the diversion tactic running away from rational inquiry. Right.
God is used to fill in the gaps.
Listen.
Everybody that believes
according
in God
to science,
according to science, explain what they don't know and what they don't understand.
Are you talking?
Everything is God, this, God that.
Brother. Subhanallah, where is the patience that you're going to demonstrate to us?
He doesn't have patience. Why is demanding patience from you? He doesn't
I'm telling you. No, don't repeat. That's what I'm saying. So that he doesn't get away from the hook. So now, according to our scientific methodology, we see existence of matter and space.
But that doesn't explain the existence of God.
I haven't finished my question yet. Listen. Why is there matter and space in existence?
Who knows?
So that is your reasonable answer?
I am man enough to say I don't know.
What if I told you I know?
But this guy, I can tell you, he will say God created all those
what if I told you?
That's such an easy answer.
Do you want to know?
Yes, from you, yes.
Okay, so how would you know the answer is correct or not? What robust criteria have you set up to ascertain and understand and assess the evidence that I'm going to give you?
First of all, you talk too much. Ascertain, robust, this. Just explain the thing. What's all the...
Okay, let me tell you in simple words then, because you understand simple language?
Yes, simple.
Right. If I were to tell you why something exists, how would you understand that what I'm saying is correct?
If it makes sense.
Makes sense, good. So how do you determine what makes sense or not? What criteria do you use?
As long as it's not bullshit, it makes sense.
No, what is bullshit and what is not? How do you determine something is and something isn't making sense?
Okay, let me tell you.
Criteria.
Let me tell you. What I hate in people is when they say it is written in the Quran.
Who's talking about other people?
No.
Talk to me.
No, I'm answering your question. You see, you can't even do.
So why go and talk about other people?
These guys are so fragile. You ask me a question and I'm answering, and they get offended when you answer the question. I don't want
So
to
his,
talk to this
his
man.
evidence, his evidence is the other people. What other people say in their weaknesses.
Listen.
Exactly.
Listen.
So come on this side. Come on this side.
Listen.
Come. Yeah, that's it. So now talk to me. Go ahead.
No. What I'm saying
Now be a man enough and talk man to man. Go ahead. Go on.
No, what I'm saying is this. What was the question again?
Okay, I'll tell you again. How do you differentiate between what makes sense and what doesn't? Don't just tell me, oh, because it's BS. I need to know a criteria that one can use, every single one of us, to say that yes, it seems reasonable. How do you understand and differentiate between what is sensible and what is not sensible?
Okay. Common sense, yeah. Well, let me answer this question how I have answered this question 1,000 times when people like you ask me that question.
People like me and people.
Yes,
So
people like
there's
you.
an element of already some kind of judgmental value.
Why
Already.
do you feel I'm being judgmental?
People like you. That's what I said. People like you. People like you. Stereotyping, isn't it?
No. When I say people like you, I mean believers like you. You are a believer, are you not? Are you not a believer?
I'm a Noah.
You're a believer, not a knower.
I am.
believe in the
I'm
Holy
telling
Quran.
you. I know God exists.
Exactly. You believe in the Holy Quran. And what happens is whenever I meet people like you, I don't know why you're offended like that by that statement.
So he's answering the question about how he assesses between what
Of
makes sense
course,
and what doesn't.
You
Go
ask
ahead.
me,
Go ahead.
and I answer the question.
Go ahead.
I won't answer it the way you want me to answer. I answer the way I answer.
Sensibly?
Exactly.
Okay.
And
Let's
the thing
see.
is this, I've answered that question 1,000 times from people like you. And they always say to me the same thing. It is written in the Quran. And I say, the Quran doesn't mean anything to me.
What was my question? I asked.
I'm getting there.
So
But
get there.
I want to offend
we
you
don't.
first.
We don't want any kind of waffling beforehand. I asked a simple question: how do we differentiate between what makes sensible, what makes sense, and what doesn't? Because if I were to give you an answer, because I asked you a question, why does something exist rather than nothing? Why does the universe exist rather than absolute nothingness? You said, who knows? I said, what if I tell you I know? Then how would you be able to understand and accept my answer being correct and true? You need to be able to differentiate whether my answer is sensible, relevant, appropriate, and acceptable.
Okay, give me your answer. If it makes sense.
Brother,
If it makes sense.
how would you differentiate my answer is appropriate,
Well, how would I
relevant,
know?
and
I
acceptable?
haven't heard your answer.
What criteria are you going to use to make sure my answer is correct?
My critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
My critical thinking.
What does critical thinking involve?
This guy will go on forever. It's
No,
like
no.
I say something,
Wait.
he'll say something else.
What
It's
does
like,
critical
this guy will
thinking
go on
involve?
till tomorrow morning. When I say something, he'll pick a word out of
Wait.
what I said, and that's what you've been doing all day.
What does critical thinking involve?
That's why you ask you about your education.
Brother, what does critical thinking involve?
No, the first thing is this.
No, what does critical thinking
He
involve?
was supposed to answer my question.
But now he's not going to answer it, is he?
Why should I answer each time I say something? Okay.
You said critical thinking.
When-
We want to know what critical thinking is. Brother. I mean, just yeah, I'll protect you. I'll protect you. I'll guard you. So now, what is critical thinking?
Okay, I guarantee you now, once I start to define critical thinking, he will pick a word in critical thinking and say, what is this? And we'll go on forever.
Let's see. Go ahead.
You understand?
Go ahead. What is critical thinking? Brother, that's fine. What is critical thinking?
Okay. Sorry for laughing, but
No, the thing is this. I'm tired.
just take the shahada, man.
I'm tired. Because this guy is just, this. I thought I was a wind-up artist, but this guy is better
Oh, so
than
you
me.
winded us up?
No.
Have I said anything that is unreasonable?
This guy is a wind-up artist. You are. Every time I say something,
Ask the
you pick
people.
out-
Ask the people.
I'm asking you.
Have I said anything that is unreasonable? You get beaten up left, right, and center every
By
single
who?
time.
Beaten up by who? Who are you? Beating me up? Who?
You don't understand even the
Don't
language
go there,
and,
my
and
brother.
physiology
Don't say that.
and,
Nobody's
and
beating me up.
idioms.
Intellectually.
Nobody. Never. Not me. Do you know who I am?
Mr. Flapper.
Right.
I'm an atheist. And
If I tell you why something exists rather than nothing, it's something that we can understand by looking at what something is. Because if something exists now,
Yeah.
if something exists today,
Yeah.
there cannot be a time in the distant past where there was absolute nothingness, because absolute nothingness has no energy, no potential, no quanta, no fluctuation, no hadrons, leptons and gluons. I'm sure you know some of these things if you
I
had.
know them, yes.
You're good, very good. So because of absence of everything
Yeah.
means something that exists today
Yeah. Cannot come
could
from
not
nothing.
come from nothingness. That
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
there has to be always something.
Yeah.
Something has to exist always.
Yeah.
Now here we have to now understand what that is then.
Yeah.
If something exists always,
Yeah.
there is no beginning of that something.
Correct, yeah.
That means that something that made our universe
Yeah.
is self-aware,
Yeah.
possessor of energy.
No.
Let me finish. Possessor of energy and will and knowledge. Because if that something that existed always didn't will and bring this universe through his power into existence, it will never happen. Just give you an example. Imagine you want to make tea at home, right? Tea. If you don't will to make tea, your teacup, your water, the milk and the tea and the sugar, they're not going to assemble by themselves, would they? They will remain in their places. When you will to happen, you open your fridge, bring the milk out. You turn the knob of your cooker, the heater goes on, it ignites, and now you have fire. Put the kettle on. But before that, get some water from the sink, turn the tap, the water comes in. All of this assembly is required before tea is made. This universe, which is so organized in its incredible precision, harmony, and complexity, tells us that there is someone who has assembled all of this by will and by knowledge and by power. This evidentially then is a proof that there is a creator of our universe who is always there. And this creator, by necessity, have to be absolute, because no one brought this creator into existence. No one gave power to this creator, because the creator, this thing that existed always was in existence. That is why, my friend, why we see something here is because of a necessary being, creator, who have brought this into existence.
Let's clap for this young man because he has...
Yeah, he needs a clap. He needs a clap.
But,
The guy was
there is
right.
a but. What this is what you call philosophical fantasy. The guy, first of all, it's okay. Let's say me, I am, as I keep on saying, I'm an atheist, right? And I don't bother with what I don't know. It doesn't keep me up at night. I don't waste time. I'm not afraid of death or afterlife or all that bullshit.
Are you sure about that?
I am not.
What happens when you die? The worms comes and eats you?
You see, I said I'm not bothered, I'm not worried.
So what happens?
And he now asks me what happens.
Exactly.
I don't give a... I don't care what happens. I just told you I don't care.
And your heart is content with that?
We'll see.
Is your heart content when you don't even know what happens to you after death? You don't even know. Is your heart content?
Sorry?
Do you feel peace and tranquility in your
The
heart?
difference between me and you, you are worried about what happens to you after you die.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care about what happens to me. I'll be dead.
So what? Everything's black?
You're already dead now.
No.
No, but it's true.
No. You see, the thing is this. I tell you.
Spiritually dead.
No. I don't believe in spirits. I keep on saying it all the time. I don't care what happens to me when I die. But you can't accept what I said.
Do you accept now why something exists rather than nothing?
No, forget that. That question is too philosophical.
What do you mean too philosophical?
It's too intellectual.
No,
Anyway,
intellectual.
I think this is the end of conversation. We've given
Yeah,
enough
for you.
We have given you enough information to come to the conclusion that atheism is irrational. Atheism is irrational. We have just given you a demonstration why atheism is not a rational
All
belief.
living things die. And once you die,
Take care, my friend.
it's over. That's why you have children to replace you. You understand? But believers, there's something about death that scares the shit out of them. That's why they can't accept it. They say, oh, when you die, you go to heaven.
Yeah, like in the end, you have this idea of the God has the Quran, you open like the last page.
You guys, when you record, no one can read it.
Ask everyone he knows that.
Yes,
No one he said that.
thank you.
Including
This is your one.
the Quran.
Alright. You guys need to be around your cameras actually. Huh? Ending recording.